Welcome, CFGU, to another Let's Play of Human Revolution. This is Ferrard Carson again, and I am your host for the evening. Now, I asked some of you all what you would like me to show you, and one of the requests was augmentations. Specifically, the non-hacking related ones. I know, I've kind of demonstrated hacking quite a bit in my previous videos. So, we'll go ahead and take a moment to look at the augmentation screen. But first, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's about the history of augmentations in Deus Ex. Every game needs, something to set it apart from everything else. Back in the year 2000, that thing for Deus Ex, other than being, the first major Western RPG to approach it from a first-person perspective, and then codify the untold hundreds of tropes associated with Western RPGs. One of the most important things in the original Deus Ex was nano-augmentations. You were the first, or one of the first, nano-augmented agents in UNATCO. Interestingly, there were augmented agents besides you. They were mechanically augmented, besides your brother Paul and this fellow by the name of Walton Simons. It was Anna Navarra and Gunther Hermann who were representing the old guard, the mechanically augmented, like Adam Jensen right here. The difference being Adam Jensen is actually on the crest of the first wave of augmentations. Now, in Invisible War, they messed it all up. They went a little too much into the nano-aug stuff, and they decided to change it to being biomods. And one of the things they did with the biomods was they made them modular. They made they basically simplified the system so that console boys could play it just between keggers or something. It was stupid. The biomods had no consequence. You could swap them in and out. There was no choice made except at a moment-to-moment basis, pretty much. So they went back to their roots here. You can see, you got the various different biomods. Did I say biomods? Augmentations. Now, interestingly, the canon has it that Adam Jensen can actually do all of these things. The difference is that his mind is not yet repaired enough to handle all these functions quite yet. These praxis points, of which I have 7, these represent the healing process that his mind is going through in a fairly rapid clip. Every point here can be used to unlock certain things within these augmentation trees. See, they have, well, actually, best example probably would be the cybernetic arm prosthesis. These things. You go into the tree and you find out that there is, first off, this one and this one. The cybernetic arms themselves, and then the instant takedown. Those you start with. But then you can go ahead and upgrade things a little further. Carrying capacity, 3 levels of that. Punch through walls, that's fun. Move, throw heavy objects, basically chucking refrigerators at people's heads. And then recoil compensation, which it's kind of puzzling why these two have to be required first in order to get that. But, yeah. There are similar trees elsewhere. Some of them are a little more detailed than others. The entire hacking setup is split up into 4 separate trees, which is a little crazy in my opinion. Stealth enhancer. Largely, in my opinion, useless. Most of this function is already replicated by either your radar or just being smart. So I would personally regard this particular augmentation tree as a crutch. But then again, I am a tryhard. So, before I actually show you what any of these augmentations do, I'm going to explain a little bit about why augmentations are so important to Deus Ex in terms of storyline. And then I'll come back and actually show you the practical effects.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I knew you and that Natchs were close, but I didn't realize you were that close.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I guess I wanted to be reminded of what it was like to be with someone normal.
You were the one who wanted us to get enhanced. Now you're saying we're not normal anymore. Well, I'll try not to touch you too often with my cold, dead, metal hand. Okay?
As I've mentioned before, Deus Ex is cyberpunk. One of the major and central themes of cyberpunk is that there is new technology on the screen. There's new technology in the field of human advancement of some sort. Whatever it is, it's making us post-human. It's making us transhuman. It allows us to transcend our humanity in some way. We think faster, we react faster, we have more dexterous fingers, we're stronger. In this case, Deus Ex presents it via augmentations. And one of the key tenets of cyberpunk is that this change does not go unnoticed. And right here we're going to have an example of why.
Jensen? What are you doing here?
I think you know why I'm here, Tyndall. I want Corella's security footage back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm Seraph Industries' chief of security. I'm pretty sure I can find out about an edited security tape, so don't bullshit me.
Ah, shit. Listen, Jensen, I never wanted things to get this bad. I'm not a bad guy. I feel for Corella, I really do. But sometimes, for a good cause, you have to get your hands dirty.
Oh, there's a good cause now?
Oh, I see. You think I'm selling the stuff, right? I understand why this would seem like an obvious motive, especially to an ex-cop. But trust me, you shouldn't always take things at face value. I'm not selling the neuropazine, I'm giving it away.
Giving it away? To who?
To the people who need it. You think everyone gets augmented by choice? No. Shit happens. And then what? You're saddled with neuropazine injections for the rest of your life, and that shit costs money. But what choice do you have? Without the drug, you'll die. Rejection syndrome, crippling pain, that just ain't right. So I did the only decent thing to do. I stepped up.
I can respect that. But blackmail is still blackmail. Corella wants out, and I'm here to make sure he gets out.
Man, this whole thing is becoming way too much trouble. I've even got 2 local pushers on my back because they say my philanthropic actions are undercutting their profit.
That's not your only problem. A gun-toting client was waiting for you in your apartment earlier.
Really? In my apartment? Shit, the dealers probably sent him. Tell you what, I'll deal with the client later. You take care of the dealers, and the footage is yours.
Okay, I'll help you out. But you better not be playing me.
You give me way too much credit, Jensen. I'm a security tech, not a hardened mobster. The 2 pushers go by the name PG and BK. They hang out in the alley near the basketball court. Just make sure they never bother me again.
Deal.
So what they were talking about is a drug, an anti-rejection drug called neuropazine. It's been mentioned several times in the game, and one of the times it was mentioned, the plot knowingly winked and nudged us. Adam Jensen, us. We don't require neuropazine. It's been 6 months since we had all this sparkly, shiny stuff installed in our body. And at about 6 months is when people start to reject it. The human body rejects the augmentations because it's metal. It's not supposed to be there. More specifically, the nerves start to reject the interface. You get what's called... Oh shoot, I forget what it's called, but it's basically, it's plaque buildup on the nerves. And that was also mentioned in the very intro of the game, in fact. Unfortunately, not everyone can afford this stuff, and even those who do oftentimes have to buy it from less than reputable people. For instance, these two. BK and PG. Yeah. Eidos needs a little more creativity in terms of names. But I'm going to show you all a neat little trick. First off, this is a back route, and we got experience for even just finding it. Anyways, here's the trick. Am I observed by anyone? No. Alright then. What? You get... Oh my god, there's dead bodies here. Oh my god, yeah, he's definitely dead. He's definitely dead. He's not noticing when I'm rifling through his pockets. And, this guy, oh my god, he really is... Oh, that's terrible. That's so terrible. Who could have done such a thing? Did you guys see anything? No? Oh, man. I'm sure these were fine, upstanding individuals. Their loss will be... Their deaths are a tragic loss to this fine, fine community. Yes. What you looking at? They obviously died of natural lead poisoning.
Look, I told you. If you want me to give you that security footage, you're going to have to get those pushers off my ass first.
I've taken care of the dealers. Now hand over the footage.
Thanks, Jensen. Listen, I know it's not something you did from the bottom of your heart, but still, you saved my ass. Here's your footage.
Listen, Tyndall, I know you're trying to do the right thing. But we have to do things by the book, or we'll just have chaos. I'll put you in contact with someone inside Seraph Industries. They may be able to get you neuropazine for those who need it.
Seriously? You'd really do that? Wow. I never would have expected this from you, Jensen. I really appreciate this. Tell Carell I'm sorry.
Ah, and right there, that little notice we got in the upper right-hand side, +1 praxis. That refers to praxis points, which I'll explain later.